Hello, everybody. This is going to be a preemptive town hall just due to the fact we understand coronavirus is going on all over the place and people have everything closed. But that doesn't mean the campaign stops. What it means is basically you have to come up with different other ways to make sure that you address the public. As far as it's concerned, give me one more second because I want to make sure everybody has a chance that needs to get on this line, and I'm going to make sure that we answer some tough questions. I definitely give out shout outs to, of course, the people who actually matter as far as helping out the legacy. And then also I'm going to address all of those who try to stop me and see how that works. But at the same time period, I want people to realize that we have some serious business to get taken care of here in the Commonwealth, here in Virginia, and of course set the tone nationwide about how the people really feel about all this mess that's going on. So I want to give some time for people to get on the line. I got to try to start this watch party because y'all seeing this really live while this is actually happening. So this is going to start off in about 3 minutes, and I got to do a little something here just to make sure people from other social media networks, they can get involved in this actual town hall as well. So it's connecting a lot of people at the same exact time. So you might have to be a little bit patient. Okay, let me get this part ready. Yeah, I had to hook up for Instagram, LinkedIn, a whole bunch of different social media sites as well. Even though this directly deals with the Southside of Virginia, doesn't mean I'm ignoring other areas of the state. It just basically means at this time period, I want to give our message to each locality. So in the meantime, before I show up after this lockdown is over with, we can have a deep and thoughtful discussion. So I want people coming up with their questions at this time period before I get started. So we're going to start in about 3 minutes. Every single social media site to this. So it's going to take a few moments to get everything set up, and we're going to be good to go. Okay, I see Jerry Wright, Cole, Gutierrez. I want to make sure I say hi to y'all and thank you for, of course, following me on Facebook and following me on this campaign as well. And let me see. As real as I am, y'all just going to see this as it's happening, me connecting sites, so you know it's coming from me. Nobody else, just me directly. Okay, I got LinkedIn set up. I want to do for Instagram as well. So there's a couple of different phones going on to make sure, you know, everybody knows they are asking the questions at the very exact time I'm answering you. So feel free to get a drink, get a beer, because honestly, when I have these conversations like this, I normally have a beer summit in Danville or in a particular location where people can actually come out, socialize, talk about whatever. I try to keep it straight up homegrown. I want people to feel like when they talking to me, not a politician. So if I was in the room with you, or if we was at a restaurant eating out or something like that, I'll say, go ahead, order up some sweet tea, order up some coffee, order up a few beers. It doesn't even matter to me. I'm pretty much fine with it. So don't think I'm a stuck up about those who like to have an occasional beverage. So let me see. Okay, got this going. All right, I got Twitter. Hopefully I pronounced that right. My family gets on me all the time about that one. If you smoke, feel free. Because Virginia's tobacco country. All right, getting that set up. All right, got the watch party started up. That should be coming on in a few seconds. Okay, got that going on. So, all right, it looks like everything's connected at this time period. So we're going to start getting this thing on the road. So when I first got in this campaign, the first place that I was supposed to announce that I was supposed to be running for governor was supposed to be in Chatham at Silas Moore Park. Obviously, given the situation, it became more difficult along the lines because of course, Democrats trying to do everything to sabotage elections this year. So, like I said, I really don't complain too much. I look for a way around it because due to the fact I like to think 5 steps ahead. So if they try to do something one way, we get around that. That's just the Republican way. So, first off, I would like to get this started, I would like to thank all of the Danville, Pennsylvania County, Martinsville, Halifax, South Boston, Chatham, and all surrounding areas to include Martinsville. I would like to make sure I give y'all a special shout out because if it wasn't for y'all reminding me that Merle Rutledge can still get the job done, I probably wouldn't be in this campaign. Now, as far as it's concerned, yeah, I would love to go ahead and do that, Dean. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm a real type of person. You know that. Just like anybody else, I'm not a politician, so they're going to see things from behind the scenes. I like to make sure people get some authentic type of person that's running for office. So, of course, I love for other people to do social media. A lot of other people do my social media, actually. But sometimes I feel like I have to do it myself because I want to make sure the message is conveyed properly and it's coming from me. It's kind of hard to be me unless you are in my shoes. And that's just the way it is. So, Dean, I love you. Honestly, Dean Peterson, to everybody, I'm going to tell you, he's a straight up, no nonsense Republican. He's a friend of mine. He is a 2A supporter. He is about getting the swamp out of the 6th district as well as the swamp anywhere else. And a lot of people do not underestimate him. I can say that part. He's grassroots from the heart. He cares about people, all people. And he has always been there whenever I needed to get some advice, if I had some questions. And I'm going to tell other candidates, if you don't have Dean Peterson on your friends list, you better have him on your friends list. I can say that part. He's a straight up Republican. He knows his business. And honestly, he's one of those types that basically, I know if he says something, I'm going to believe him. So that lets you know how much respect I got for the guy. Now, for Breonna and Michelle, it's always great seeing you and your mother, Shannon Tipton. Y'all great people. I love y'all. Honestly, I can't wait to have another beer with you, to be honest with you. Now, let me get down this list because I'm going to be talking trash about some politicians in your area too. Don't think I'm going to let up on them because I so happen to be talking to Danville and want to make sure I get along and answer voters' questions. Y'all still have a lot of trash out there, and I'm going to definitely point them out. Now, let me get this list started. I would like to first thank Danville Sheriff Mike Mundell. I'm going to tell you, you one tough son of a bitch. I can say that part. But you has always kept it real with me. You haven't shied away from nobody. And honestly, if there was a cop I was going to be thinking about once I go to the governor's mansion, you are one of those. So that kind of lets you know you have been a good friend through thick and thin. We don't always agree, and you already know that part. But as far as I'm concerned, I like for somebody to talk straight up to the people. And you have never denied anybody a meeting. When you meant transparency, you actually meant that. The open door policy, you actually meant that. Now, I can tell you, I don't like your football team. Never will. You know that. But at the same time frame, when it comes down to somebody making sure they don't duck and dodge and have some sarcasm like me, that's kind of hard for me not to respect. Now, the Scott Booth, you have changed up Danville in a way I haven't seen. When Broadfoot used to be there, let's be real. Me and that son of a bitch, honestly, if I probably saw him today, it'll probably be a fight. So that lets you know I haven't changed on Broadfoot, but what you have actually brought out to the Danville area, to the community, making sure police is actually engaged in the citizens, which is something that hasn't been done. The only time frame it seemed like police was engaged in citizens was to lock them up and not actually find out what is the cause of the problems that's going on, so they can actually do good policing and not ignorant policing. You have done a tremendous job in that particular area. Now I want to go down to my supporters as well. I would like to thank Marsha Pritchett. That's the number one. I know she has had a rough couple of weeks dealing with some liberals going to a store, and obviously we are getting justice for what happened there. But she has been one of the top people to make sure when I needed somebody answering the calls, sending letters, going to the courthouse, being there thick and thin. That is the number one person in that particular area that gets the job done each and every time, and I appreciate you. NCAGA wouldn't be there if it wasn't for great women that are committed like you, Marsha Pritchett. I would also like to thank my spiritual advisors, Jessica Turner and Dwayne Turner. Now, they keep me humble on the campaign trail. They make sure my stress levels is down and always give me advice to keep me moving forward. There has been no better friend to me, a colleague, or those who have been right there in my corner each and every step of the way, praying for me and making sure that my mind is staying on God and country and not all on self like other politicians. I would like to thank you and know that you're very much appreciated. What y'all have done for the Danville community, even though y'all live in Atlanta, Georgia, you never have forgot home. And I have to say, you have been one of the few that has stayed committed to making sure people are treated fairly no matter who they are. And those have a place or a church or home if they can't be at one. And we all in Danville, Pennsylvania County, on the South Side, your old news station, and everybody around America that knows you, we all love you. And that comes from the Rutledge family. Well, of course, me and Risa Rutledge is, of course, always going to have your back through thick and thin. So that's just the way it is. Now, also, I would like to also thank Alvin Sutherland. Alvin Sutherland, you talk too much, but I have to say you have been a great president of the NCAGA in Danville, Virginia, and still taking on citizens' questions, still working with the community. You don't get enough thanks, but this is my way of saying thank you for taking over as soon as I had to leave the actual area and making sure people had a home whenever they had a grievance with government officials, and staying on top of making sure that the corruption in Danville does go. Also thank Lafayette Hodnick. Now, most of Danville know who this guy is, and I can say why. He has been there through thick and thin. He is like a brother-in-law to me, so that lets you know how close me and him is. And I would like to thank him for always having my back through thick and thin, knowing all the stuff I went through, being there for my mother's funeral, always being a family friend, and always telling truth to power. I want to let you know you are appreciated. Now, down the list, I would like to also thank the Halifax County Circuit Court Clerk's Office. Y'all don't get enough appreciation, but y'all should. Y'all have been overwhelmingly transparent, polite. Y'all have became part of the Rutledge family by the time frame I get down there. Your professionalism is unmatched in that area. And if it came down to me saying what is the best courthouse in the area that's more competent than other courthouses, I would say the Halifax County Circuit Courthouse Clerk's Office is the best of the best. Now, I want to also thank the restaurants in the area. I can't forget y'all. And sorry for Virginia, y'all just got to hear how it is in Danville, so I'm bringing you home. I would like to thank Biscuitville for making sure my breakfast is always good. I would like to thank Nikki's Family Restaurant for always making sure my breakfast buffet is always good, and always making sure my sweet tea and coffee is always refilled, and y'all got some of the best waitresses out there in the business. I would like to thank Diner 360 for your great breakfast each time frame I'm in the area. Wonderful customer service, because my diet is very important, even though it doesn't seem like it. I would like to thank the Pack House for me getting into Halifax very late in the afternoon and making sure y'all, even though y'all's on lunchtime, y'all still made one of the best breakfasts ever heard of. Honestly, the pancakes, there's just something about y'all place that I won't be missing anytime when I come in Danville or Halifax. Be a stop on the way. So y'all just gonna have to deal with this list. I'm always ready. Now, also, I would like to thank Ray Wright out of Chatham, Virginia, for being a great friend to me on this campaign trail and always being there to let me know anytime frame there's some liberals having a problem that they need to be corrected. I would like to thank the Danville Republican Committee as well as the Pennsylvania County Committee for one. The first Republican meeting I went to was in Pennsylvania. Okay, back to the message. I don't know what happened. My internet is supposed to be working just fine, but we'll fix that problem in any kind of way we want to. I'm still not done. So, like I said, this is about Danville, people, and the south side of Virginia. So I'm talking straight up to my hometown. And they just know this is just me. So we ain't going to be fake for nobody on this Facebook Live. We keep it real 100% of the time. And this is the area where farmers and all types of people, we call bullshit, bullshit. That's just the way we talk. So I would like to thank Julia Wallington and her family. And that definitely because, one, they have been Republican down to their joints go broke, meaning they keep it real 100% of the time. Their family is a beautiful family, and I enjoy everything I know about them, and they have always had my back 100% on the campaign trail as well, keeping up. And Julia Wallington, you know how I feel about cancer, and you know my expression, and I always want to keep it real with you. Fuck cancer. You've been fighting that son of a bitch, and I still see you kicking his ass, just like we do coronavirus. And don't worry about my language. This is just going to be the way it is, because honestly, we have these tough type of talks, and we walk the walk. Now, going down the list, I would like to thank Danville Regional Medical Center, which is now Sober Health. Back in the day, a lot of people don't know I was at death's door. That hospital saved my life. A lot of people don't know that story. But I would like to thank you for all y'all did during that time frame, putting prejudice and bias to the side, knowing that exactly y'all had to keep it professional and make sure I was treated, and y'all got the job done. And of course, I walked out that hospital same night back to the car and was still raising hell right afterwards, even though you told me not to. That just lets you know y'all did a great job getting me back to where I needed to be. Now, I would like to thank other people at your hospital, like Jennifer Francis. Yes, she has a mouth on her. And I'm proud of every time period she lets you liberals have hell. That's just the way it is. Sometimes y'all need that tough type of talk. And you need for somebody keeping it real and keeping confidence in the area from stupidity. Jennifer Francis is the picture perfect definition of how a spokesperson from my staff should respond back. And she's doing an excellent type of job. Now, I would also like to thank Jay Wells, as well as Lee Vogler, for being one of the few Republicans out there. He's on the Danville City Council. He needs more help because obviously for a mayor to say 2A is dead without an actual council meeting inviting the public, and then you have somebody who calls the mayor out, I gotta give some credit for that. That just lets me know that Republican hasn't died in you. You just have a burning desire to get the job done, and you're sick of the rest of them liberals destroying the city. That's just the way it is. Now, still going down the list, this is me and Danville talking, people, and me and the Southside of Virginia talking. Okay, I'm trying to remember everybody. I think I did a great job. Now it's time for me to get on the people I don't like in that area, because I got a special thank you for all you haters. Now, majority of the area knows that's Rutledge country, Rutledge city, Rutledge town. That's the way it is. The work I put in, how I handle storms, how I've been there for the people, putting in the work, taking the sacrifice, being the lightning rod, and all at the same time saying hi to lightning. That means I ain't feared nobody. Now let me go down the list. Mayor Alonzo Jones. Now, I was so proud when you stuck your hand out there and I looked you right in the eye and said, I ain't shaking your hand. You have destroyed that city. I don't know what kind of idiot made you mayor, but the fact is now you kind of know everything that you have talked about, them fiery speeches. He's one of them politicians that I tell people about who has a good talk, but when we get to a position of authority, they cannot lead. And all it is a great speech for votes. And then once they get into office, they do jackass things and say 2A is dead. You invited me for that one. And that kind of lets you know Merle Rutledge is not a politician, because everybody else would be shaking hands of people they don't like. I don't do that. That just doesn't happen. Now, to continue down the list, I would like to address the rest of the Danville City Council. How do I look now, running for governor of Virginia, given the fact all the different stuff you put me through, given the fact you stupid judges and all you stupid idiots that's been out there trying to hold me back, part of the good old boy system. And the whole time frame, you Democrats in that area tried to stop me. And now you got me known all across the state of Virginia, the person who raised more hell than I could muster, protecting people from scum like you, protecting taxpayers from hikes like you without knowing who was at fault for it. To all of those who gave those stupid speeches years ago and got elected into office, let me thank y'all, Taekwon Graves and Crystal Cobbs. You definitely owe the people a monthly report of your accomplishments, because I've been highly disappointed in you too. You made people think hope, and you gave them failure with the schools. So each month, citizens of Danville, I need for you to approach these two and the rest of the school board. Don't give them no kind of excuse, and ask them, what are you doing with the taxpayers' money, and how are you improving our schools? How are you handling the anti-bullying policy? That doesn't mean crap because we got suicides still continuing to this day. Yeah, it gets real to that point. Now, let me go down the list. The Danville Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Michael Newman. Who's that other idiot? I forgot her name. But anyway, your whole office. I don't know how I forgot her name. How does it feel that the tables got turned on you? Now you're looking face to face with the person who's going to make sure stupid prosecutors like you, those who help the opiate epidemic and make fools of our justice system all across Virginia with Brock Turner-like sentences, and y'all making deals with pedophiles and releasing these dangerous animals back on the street to continue to prey on people each and every day while locking up people for trespassing, while letting people who shoot people, rape, pillage, mess with kids, and all this other stuff bought right out your jail. But you have those who smoke a little marijuana, or those who basically violate a drug test, go to jail for 60 days, while others walk right out to jail and you excuse the test. We know all about your crooked system. To me personally, I don't care, Michael Newman, how many confidential informants that you decide to sleep with. Let's be honest about it. You should have resigned a long time ago. And Danville citizens, y'all got to get on point about this. Y'all have too many voters up there to let that SOB Michael Newman still be prosecuting in your city without kicking them right on out of office. That's not Michael Newman's fault. That's your fault for not getting together, getting the numbers there, standing up to these animals that do this type of liberal justice. Almost threw away a whole gang case. And now we know everybody from that gang case, that whole trial is tainted, just like anything else he does is tainted. I want to thank you, Michael Newman, because you know every single day you gotta look at my picture and say that man is running for governor that I tried to screw. And guess what? As he becomes governor, he's gonna make my life even more of a hell. So get used to it. I'm trying to let Danville know, just because I'm in Virginia Beach, I haven't changed too much on how I'm going to handle justice in that area. Now, as far as you stupid judges, because I said I was going to get on y'all too, let me name you out by names, because quite frankly, I don't give a damn. And since the governor may pass the First Amendment bill that I plan on breaking the law on day one, I figure I'll go ahead and talk trash about y'all right now, just to get started early. Judge Milam, who gave out 6 months to a repeated pedophile. Judge Reynolds, the stupid idiot who needs to be removed that has personal interests written all over him. He's a liberal judge too, both of them. Stacey Maru, out of Pennsylvania County. You are one of the biggest pieces of crap I ever met. You actually maybe gave them liberals Milam and the liberal Reynolds a little bit of leeway when it comes down to your justice system. Denying Second Amendment rights and self-defense. Common sense, because you can't go to vacation at a beach house in North Carolina with the governor. Your court has become a joke. You presiding over cases for your own brother, a lawyer, and you the judge. You didn't think that was smart? The stupid people who need to be in leadership are somewhere else doing their own thing because they don't have the time to deal with this crap. Then let me go down to Judge Kimberly White, who likes to suppress free speech. Honestly, she's probably happy with this lockdown or the state being closed like this because this probably fits her liberal sensibility. And then also now we have the possibility of a murderer who killed his own grandfather walking right out of jail because of your stupid decisions. So this kind of lets you know how crazy and stupid these liberal leaders is in this area. So to the community, when y'all think it's Republicans running that area, hell no, that's false. Those are Democrats doing the tax hikes and putting you through that crap that y'all been going through for years. And it's about time Republicans called them out on it. The only reason why it ain't getting done because the good old boy system was happy long as you don't mess with me. But guess what? You're messing with the people. Now everybody needs to be elite to have justice or have a functional government that we don't have to keep paying back tax dollars for your bad deals. Ex-PRA group. Now, down the list, because I still ain't done talking trash about them liberals in that area. Michael Bloomberg. How in the blue hell he picks your city, Danville, to decide to have a campaign office gladly talking about taking guns in a gun-happy area where law-abiding citizens carry locked and loaded, and y'all allowed him to even spend a night in that city. But obviously it was clear that message that he had to be gone, that piece of trash had to be gone, and he left as quickly as his campaign. But it also let me know billionaires is still throwing out money all over the state trying to influence our elections. Now, to go down the rest of the pieces of trash, Brian Haskins. I don't care how much you call yourself a Republican. You're a piece of crap too. You have set up too many people, and I gotta call it out because you're so sensitive every single time frame I decide to come in the channel and walk up the block. Michael Teller. You are probably the most coward sheriff I have ever met. Now, let me tell you about this stupid one. Now, he had the nerve to go to my mother's house with a black deputy and serve her with papers. I go down to the Pennsylvania County Sheriff's Office just to visit. I had to be escorted all throughout the courthouse grounds with a deputy. And he sent a black one, so it let me know what intentions he was having. He could have sent anyone. But the fact is, that deputy looked so scared to give me that piece of paper. I kind of laughed about it. And every time frame I go to Pennsylvania County, I always like to stop by the sheriff's office and ask for my free escort. Obviously, it was a bunch of talk because they just tell me, Mr. Rutledge, get out of here. You know you could go wherever you want to. I just love calling their bluffs because we got a lot of people in liberal city and liberal county areas bluffing. Now, that kind of lets you know a little bit more about the story of Merle Rutledge. Now, I would also like to thank those who got Solace Moore Park looking the same way. We've been advocating for the longest kind of time to get that park straightened out so kids could play safely on playground equipment. Now the basketball course is looking great. The landscape is looking good. I feel like we have done a great job beautifying that area. And I would like to say to the town of Chatham people, yes, I do miss you. But y'all doing a great job on making sure that area stays looking great, like my hometown is supposed to. Now, since I finished talking trash, there's probably a lot more trash out there. I think they get the message a lot louder and a lot clearer that Merle Rutledge still plans on straightening out all that stupid crap y'all have going down there. Some things is a local issue, but if the state has to pay it back, we got some explaining to do with the fact of you raising taxes on people for your stupid mistakes that you have to keep paying back the stupid governor of Virginia. Now, I think I have gotten that out the way. I had to, clear the air on that one of all the people I still don't like and all the people that still have to be straightened out. And my thing to the Danville and to the Pennsylvania County Republican Committee, Merle Rutledge is running for governor of Virginia. And it ain't a damn thing you could do about that for those in the establishment. Now, even at those meetings, And you probably saw all the other meetings where I fired up the base and people know there's no longer a typical Republican in this race for governor of Virginia. Now, I'll definitely have looked forward to meeting all the Republicans in those committees and looking them face to face and seeing, are they here to take Virginia back? Don't worry about the liberals that surround you, because inch by inch and mile by mile, Merle Rutledge is setting the thing straight for God and country, for the Bible Belt area. Realistically, the message hasn't been done right because people are scared to go into areas that they used to not go in before. But this time frame, the things is different. The battlefield has changed. But be mindful, Governor Northam and Governor Fairfax, Lieutenant Governor Fairfax and the rest of them, isn't making all these trips to Danville and Pennsylvania County for no kind of reason. There's a huge reason why they're going there. Pennsylvania County is considered the largest county in Virginia for a lot of people who doesn't know that. Danville, on the other hand, is normally a Democratic Danville, but guess what? Since Rutledge got in the race, now is leaning Republican. That's because people like me spent more time at their dinner tables and not at the boardroom. That's because people like me treat everybody like family and present their issues the way it is and doesn't cut corners. For too long, the GOP has stood there in silence in this fight for 2A, this fight against the good old boy system. And so many Republicans that are sick and tired of seeing their area go to the trash can because of opiates and ignorance. The leadership that they used to think used to be there, which had old school values and principles that we all grew up upon and lean with respect, has been dwindling away. There are very few that's willing to say that they are Republican in an area where Democrats control the majority. It's too many Democrats in the area, as I talk to the communities all over and ask them, like I said, why are you Democrat? Can you present the reason? They lack the knowledge to even represent them. Now, at this time frame, they have the openness and willingness to go ahead and let this type of Republican set this thing straight. Because you feel like y'all have been left out of this free market. But I want to let you know, nobody has forgotten about you. Honestly, I love going to farmers markets, buying my fruit and my vegetables fresh. But I know during this economic downturn, people at this time frame are scared to make a move because they are thinking about life or their livelihoods. And y'all need a plan for us in Virginia to come back and come back strong. Not somebody who just gives you diaper dandies of sweet nothings. I leave that for my opponent. Now, as far as economic development, I do support the casinos. I believe the casinos is going to bring more restaurants, more hotels, more businesses to that particular area, and it's perfectly situated for it to hit Danville. Danville can definitely use the revenue from North Carolina and other areas by being strong and moving quickly with expedited requests of building for Danville's future. Y'all should not have that red tape that is there right now holding you back from making the area grow sharply. I know those who are advocating against casinos. Let's be honest about it. Where are the jobs for people to work? If not, they're going to have crime. Crime will skyrocket more on innocent people ever if they are not able to go to work. I have also now support uranium mining being done in that particular area. I know the concerns in regards to, of course, this process, but we don't get anywhere acting on fear and never making anything happen. Uranium mining will become a part of Virginia, as modern technology has satisfied me and a lot of others that this can be done responsibly and in a controlled environment to make sure it's used for the purpose it's for, and also committed to the safety of people in that area. So yes, I will support uranium mining in that particular area, because as far as I'm concerned, we are not going to close up business in that area and give it up for somewhere else to go ahead and take advantage of in another state. We got to keep Virginia businesses what's homegrown here. Now, as far as the criminal justice system, that's one of the number one things that come up in Danville, Virginia. What is anybody really going to do about the justice system in the South Side? Well, the number one problem I always hear from citizens is about criminal sentencing guidelines, as well as people feel targeted because they spoke out against police, or they spoke out not just against police, but a particular official that sicked the police on them. Most of these people never even had a criminal record until they spoke up about the justice system. Realistically, I plan on making sure we have a board with conservatives that have legal backgrounds, and those are ordinary citizens, to review and have petitions done for those who are, one, wrongfully convicted, or judges acted recklessly in sentencing. The fact is, we believe crime deserves punishment. I'm the biggest person about that. But the fact is, I don't see any reason for somebody to be locked up in prison for 150 years for stealing Skittles or losing their life. The fact is, the justice system ain't going to be fair, but we can damn sure be committed to doing a better job of it. And also holding judges accountable. Like I said, the best way for us to do that, I would say, one, you have the commission, but I want to get rid of them. But we need to be able to vote in our judges, not have them appointed by bureaucrats who, lawyers, flush with campaign contributions, hoping that they could buy themselves a judgeship. That's why we have the stupidity going on down there in those particular areas, because judges are appointed and they are not elected. We need to get them judges, or those who want to be judges, on the ballot box so the people can have who they want representing their justice system, not a bureaucrat. Now, as far as economic development, number one, we are going to bring jobs to the South Side. Like I said, uranium mining, coming back to casinos, getting rid of all that stupid red tape, and making sure y'all can start building more sources of revenue. Economic development will occur just because of that. You will see new businesses and more expansion of opportunity for those who are looking to have a startup business, because a lot of businesses are closing down because they don't have enough people coming into the South Side. So without those new tourists or those new visitors, businesses dwindle down. So for those who have small businesses that is trying to actually start a family tradition or open up wealth, then of course having more people come to that area by having these businesses will of course affect yours in a positive manner. Even with restaurants and more, you will have new people going to new places just for that purpose, just to get a feel for the area once they are attracted to the area. But what brings down that area, let's be honest about it, people. Opiate epidemic, crime in your schools. When families come to an area or businesses come to an area or they get a chance to scout the area, they gotta look at their employees and see would their families want to be around this particular area long term. Until you get better elected officials and people more competent, a lot of them have a high school education. Let's be honest, people. That's kind of hard to figure out the devil in the details when it comes down to business contracts that's going on in the area and then getting screwed over. The fact is, you can't have those types that lack any kind of education to figure out a multi-million-dollar deal and find out how it falls flat. That's why so many in the city is paying for these liberal mistakes. What we're going to do is make sure those liberal mistakes stop happening. Now, you can still have the same elected officials, but Virginia is not going to pay for it. We always have to bail out your area because of that. It's time for the citizens to choose how their government is ran. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you got rid of all them Democrats that's up there, all of them, and put Republicans up there, watch how that city grows. Watch how your taxes go down. Watch how certain kind of stupid electricity billing contracts and more, watch how they flush out for all the errors that's taken over you in that area and how you survive. Being honest about it, Danville has not improved. The Southside area, there are people trying to have it improved. But the thing is, they are not in positions of authority because they keep getting taken out by the good old boy system. And until Danville collectively works together to get all them idiots out, then Danville will suffer. That's the truth of the matter. But also at the same time period, that's my way of directing my message to Danville. Now, I want to do a Q&A, a question and answer session for those who have questions at this time period about Danville or about the Southside and Halifax County. It's all included. So this is your time to throw a question at Merle Rutledge, because this is how I'm doing it. This is like me sitting down with a bunch of citizens and just having a regular conversation. I'm going to keep it that way because I want people to be comfortable knowing that they can actually talk to somebody who's not a politician running this campaign. So I'd like to say hi, Mike Cooper. Hey, Belinda Fitzgerald. It's always great to see you. I'd like to always thank your family for making sure I also had the second home when I was growing up in that area. Belinda Fitzgerald is one of the people who knew at the time period how sick I was during that time period. When I tell y'all that's a true story behind that, they made sure, that family made sure I had my medication, everything during that time frame. They was not going to see me leave this world early. And they definitely made sure I got nursed back to my regular health and fought off everything and got to that point. So I always thank Belinda Fitzgerald and her family, the Bruce family as well, for all that they done during that time period. I want y'all to know y'all very much appreciated on how y'all made sure Merle Rutledge is still here to this day. So now is the time for questions. So if you have questions about 2A, you have questions about the criminal justice system in Danville, or you have questions in general about anything and you want to know my viewpoint or whatever, you can have your chance to feel free to ask any kind of question you want. So I'm going to be looking up or looking down at this time period for any and all questions that you have about the area. So feel free to ask them because this is your time with Merle Rutledge. So I don't want to hear about, I never took time to go to Danville. Too bad I would have already been there if the governor wasn't shutting everybody down and making them scared. So anyway, let's get this thing started. So I'm looking up the questions now. So give me a chance to see your question. There's a lot of people on. I always love seeing everybody on. Thank you, Antoine Royal. And I'm just looking up some questions here. And I'm also going to take a few from Twitter, LinkedIn as well. Okay, I thought I already answered this question before, but I figure I might as well give an answer to this one. This is coming off of actually LinkedIn, and it deals with 2A. He asked the question about Mr. Rutledge. Do you feel that the castle doctrine can backfire on ordinary citizens by allowing it as policy in my administration? The only way it could backfire is basically a criminal is able to get into your house and you have no means to protect yourself, and that criminal takes your possessions or even your life. The fact of the matter is the castle doctrine also protects you. Criminal that comes in your house puts you in reasonable risk of safety to yourself as well as your property on private property. It basically gives you not a blanket immunity, but given a scenario that you have a lot more protection from being prosecuted for reasonably defending yourself. And my reasonableness is different from other reasonableness. I like to use the police factor, meaning if a police officer was given the discretion of a justified shooting, given the totality of the circumstances, that same discretion should be used to ordinary citizens. The reason is we know there are justified shootings and there are questionable shootings or those that are purely, just murder. But at the same time period, I don't think a citizen in Virginia should not have that same discretion. If a police officer feels like that's a reasonable threat for them to use deadly force, then I feel like the citizens should also be given that discretion and that standard lowered. But with the castle doctrine, I also support the stand your ground law, a fixed stand your ground law that actually means something, where citizens don't retreat. They are actually able to stand their ground and use deadly force if need be, given a variety of scenarios. Florida has a decent stand your ground law, but of course it came to scrutiny with the Trayvon Martin case. And that was one of the cases, and another case where a young lady shot in the air and almost got a life sentence basically for shooting in the air, not shooting nobody, but to get a threat that was attacking her and her kids. So when you see stuff like that, you start saying to yourself, how can I better protect citizens? Now, there's politicians that talk 2A, and realistically, they can say, hey, we're going to try to stop this law or repeal this law. But the thing is, you need to start adding more protections even after it's repealed, so the crap that we have going on here in Virginia doesn't continue. But the fact is, yes, one of the other things I've done is also said exactly for those who are protesting, and even some of these reopen Virginia protests, I'm a firm believer of using the pardon power if need be from unjust law or unjust executive order. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as law enforcement is not harmed in the situation and the person is charged with offense based off of protest or based off of protest for their 2A rights, I will make sure any kind of criminal charges that come from it that's outside of hurting law enforcement will get a pardon if the judges or whatever decide to say, hey, I'm going to give this person time or whatever. I also believe in the expungement of records for the mere possession of a firearm. A lot of times, police can charge you for having a firearm in your glove box, and that's the only violation you really did, but you can become a felon over it. Without a commission of a felony, I think it's apples to oranges policy. I fully support a constitutional carry state where you have a constitutional right to have firearms, be a law-abiding citizen. If you want to walk around with your AR, whatever it may be, you are able to do so without worrying about the government intruding on your rights. Right now, the gun laws that have been passed, some people don't think it's that big of a deal for liberals, but it's a very big deal for Republicans, conservatives, or those who are law-abiding citizens, because you're releasing criminals on the streets just because of a bad code. And now you're taking away the very means to protect yourself from those who don't care about the law. And then also making laws to make them felons if they carry particular firearms or have too much ammunition. It's ridiculous how far Virginia has come since Democrats has taken over. And as far as I'm concerned, if no politician is talking about not only protecting your Second Amendment rights, but they are not talking about how they're going to protect it and put laws in that strengthen them, then be very questionable about that politician's true intent on 2A. So that would be my message loud and clear for career politicians that are talking about that. Now, also, people have talked about, even with new revenue and stuff like that, we are coming back from, basically, how do we come back from a crisis that has basically taken over Virginia and lost businesses and people having a whole lot of confusion at this time period, which I'm answering the question, but I'm kind of paraphrasing. And this question comes from actually Instagram. But in general, take this for instance, how bad Democrats are about managing money. Just the way it is. How in the blue hell, and when I say blue hell, it means exactly what it means. How in the blue hell do you find $300 million to help illegal immigrants during economic shutdown on America, but you can still know that money exists not for your own citizens, but for illegals? What I'm trying to say is localities have a way always agree that the fact that, just other politicians the same way, and they are not the ones performing the abortions. They are just getting other people to do their dirty work. The fact is all it is breaking down people's bloodlines. That's what it boils down to. It's taking away families and breaking them. Pro-choice. A lot of people don't realize the harm that comes with that. Y'all the ones who have to live every single night that decide to perform abortion, wondering how you